You ever think about the amusement park? Growing up in New Jersey, in the summer, there's boardwalks along the coastline, and there's some towns that have amusement parks. But throughout the world, you're familiar with a Ferris wheel, a roller coaster. And it's an interesting thing that an amusement park is to amuse people, to entertain them, to give them excitement. And many people spend their vacation at amusement parks with their family, their kids, sometimes by themselves, to give them something exciting to do in life. There was this one radio personality called Carton, Boomer and Carton in the morning. They were sports radio announcers that did a morning show. And they were very popular. They had multi-million dollar contracts with the radio station. But after several years being on the air, one of the radio hosts, Carton, got caught in a gambling operation. And you say to yourself, why would someone who already makes a couple $1,000,000 a year, why would they gamble? Is it just for the money? Sure, everyone wants more money. Tony says happy payday. Yes, happy payday to everyone. Thank you, Tony. Many people spend their paycheck on gambling. I've played stocks before. I would consider it very similar. But the reason people gamble is not just to double their money. That's part of it, no doubt. But there's an adrenaline rush because life is boring. Many people, I'm sure, spent their stimulus or their regular paycheck on gambling and or drugs. And not because necessarily they're evil, but people are looking for something to stimulate not just their pockets, but their mind. You think about that. Someone who is not that well off, you get a stimulus, whether it's a government issued stimulus or whether it's your regular payday, and you spend it on something that is just there to stimulate your mind. Humans have a need to be stimulated. Some people are addicted to sex. Now let's take the perfect normal person that's not addicted to gambling, not addicted to drugs, not addicted to sex. They get bored with being single and they decide to give them something to do in life. They want to get married. And then marriage gets a little bit boring. Then they want to have a kid. And then they say, you know what? Let's make it even more exciting. Let's have another kid. And then, eventually too, they realize it's a lot of work, but they do the right thing. They raise their family. They get to their 50s or maybe even 60s. And they say, all right, now it's our time again. I want to have fun. And what's the first thing most retirees do? They go on an adventure. They want to travel. So humans, including me, I'm human, guys. Okay, even though I know on your phone I'm a robot. I think about that tonight. How do we solve the problem of being bored without self-destructing and while keeping a balance? You could say, look, I'm living in my car partly as an adventure. I mean, I think about settling down now and I get a little scared. The adventure's then over and I'm living this life. Did I get bored living in my house? Yeah. I mean, obviously, there was a variety of factors. After my dog passed, just coming home to the same house every day with no one in it and not wanting to live in New Jersey, that's like ultra boring and depressing. And I went through the phase of, I don't want to live in this house alone, so I'll have a relationship. To me, thank God the Lord spared me. That's not for me. And so I said to myself, what am I doing with this house? What am I doing? I'm bored. I'm not happy. So I set a goal, cut my living expenses in half and get down to Florida before I'm too old to enjoy it. Because life, I don't want to live a boring life my entire life, get to my 50s, 60s, 70s, and then try to find some inspiration. That didn't work for me. And I looked at my circumstance, I could responsibly do it. And now I sit here, thinfo, $2 super chat. Life is boring. Drink more alcohol. Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol since my 20s. I smoked weed and I drank alcohol in my 20s. I stopped in my late 20s. Some people can drink alcohol and not become alcoholics. I was never an alcoholic. And that's not why I quit. It just, for me, it didn't add to my best life. It drained my energy. It puts on weight. Makes you hang with the wrong crowd. And it just didn't work for me. But again, there was a season I did it. Now, am I mad at anyone that wants to drink alcohol? Look, everyone should do whatever they want. I'm not mad at anyone, guys. I'm just trying to get through life as healthy and as positive as I can, to doing the best I can for me. Everyone has to figure out their own life. Would I recommend alcohol? No, I wouldn't. But again, there's a lot of things I do other people wouldn't recommend. So, I try to share with you guys on these live feeds that I do every night. Click that blue join button. You want to be a member. I try to share with you guys, not just like on top of this pedestal or giving you a sermon. I try to share with you my thoughts, and you'll have to kind of figure out if they mesh with your thoughts or if they spark something in you. But, again, we're all on that unique journey where we're trying to figure it out. But what I could tell you is, I remember watching a MTV documentary with Old Dirty Bastard, famous rap artist, part of the Wu-Tang Clan. And he had made millions. And then he had got locked up because he had struggled with drugs and some other things. And so then when he got out, he was overweight. He was still struggling with his drug addiction. And he went to go see his probation officer. This was all on an MTV show. But it's like a documentary following him around. And his probation officer was like, hey, look, you got a lot of kids. You got a lot of bills and stuff. You got the gift. You got the ability to make money. Why are you getting involved with the drugs? Why are you messing up your life? And Old Dirty basically told him, life is boring. Without drugs, he wasn't excited. Some people need a buzz, whether alcohol, whether drugs, whether gambling, whether stocks, and again, I would say I've done those things, and I could see how it's tough. I understand the need for adrenaline. And like I say, never date a girl who always wants to go on the high rides at Great Adventure. She's an adrenaline junkie. Okay. So she wants to go on all the high roller coasters. She may have a drug problem and she may destroy her life. However, if you marry someone, guy or girl, and you see them every day for years on end, they become boring. There's a guy that trolls the nomads. He's got a YouTube tag name, Not a Nomad. Always find it interesting. Why would you name yourself that? If you don't want to be a nomad or you don't classify, just call yourself Inspirational Homeowner. But they don't do that. It's like a negative. He has a negative channel name because he has a negative, boring mind. His life is boring. And he looks at other nomads because he's got nothing going on in his life. And he almost wants to tear down their life to try to build himself up. Because one thing I've learned in life, when you're inspired, when you're happy, you're not looking to go and tear someone else down. You're sharing your inspiration. And this guy had like 3-4 videos. They all sucked and they were all from months ago. It's like this guy wouldn't know inspiration, if it smacked him upside the head. So on the weekend, it's a Friday as I make this and we're getting ready to hit summer. People are looking to get into some adventures. Okay. Because most people have been hibernating all winter. They've been working all week. And now it is a time to enjoy. If you don't believe that the average person is bored out of their mind, look at Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday was invented by the average family. They say, oh, today's Tuesday. Let's make tacos. Taco Tuesday. Oh, my God. It's a whole new exciting thing, And then, after a couple of years of Taco Tuesday, the guy says, or whoever says, You know what? I think I want something different tonight. And they go, what do you mean you want something different? Today's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. You know, sometimes life is so boring, just having something different to eat gets exciting. You know, I remember being obese, and I ate everything I wanted every night. And it was enjoyable for several years, but destroy your health. I was young enough that I did it. I said, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it while I'm young. But it was very hard to get out of obesity. Very hard, guys. If you can, get your eating habits together before the age of 35. Once you get over 35, guys, your metabolism different, your body's different. But in my late 20s, I was eating everything I want and enjoying it. Okay. But I found an amazing thing. You know, one of my favorite dishes was fried chicken. And there was a place in New Jersey called Chicken Holiday. That was my preferred chicken spot at that time. Pudgy's had closed. I used to like Pudgy's, but there's only a couple left in Long Island. So, you know, I was like, well, I'm not going to get tired of fried chicken. So I tested that theory. Would I get bored of fried chicken? And so I proceeded to say, hey, let's see. Okay. So every night I would go and I would order a bucket of fried chicken for several days. And I think I got to the 6th or 7th day. I said, damn, I'm tired of this chicken. Even fried chicken can get boring. Even a beautiful woman, even a tall guy with a nice ass that's rich, everything gets boring. So how does the human deal with boredom without doing destructive behavior? Drugs, alcohol, affairs. Just a couple girls try to creep with me and have an affair. So you're going to be my nomad thrill. And yeah, I'd be an adrenaline rush, but I don't want to I almost got caught in a love triangle one time. Total disaster. I'd rather be bored than caught in that shit. Okay. You know, like I said, that one guy that's married that trolls all the nomads. You know, his answer to being bored is, let me see if I can, you know, get someone else to argue with me or whatever. And I'm saying to myself, man, go live your life. Go live your life. People are trying to find what makes them happy. Very hard to find a happy person. You know, sometimes I think people watch my channel and they say, well, dude, this guy seems overall happy, even though it gets pretty intense. And people want some of that energy. I've heard many people say, well, where do you get that energy? I want some of that energy. You know, I think, look, everyone has a different personality. And I think certainly your environment and your circumstance, I think, you know, living as a nomad, you know, that's one thing where when it gets boring, you move. And there's a lot of adventure. You know, the downside is that can wear you out. Okay, because when you're constantly on vacation or constantly moving, it's just like constantly having fried chicken. You could get wore out. However, you could look at that guy, not a nomad, who's wore out living in his house. And I think about buying a home base and I get bored out of my mind. Howell, blessings to you, brother. Hope your day went well. Howell, I love you. And I love you. And I love you. Okay, I know it's been a rough week back and forth with you, but you know I love you. And I'm glad that you left a comment. And you know, even if I never speak to you, brother, I love you all my heart. And I know you're going to do great. And I believe in you. Okay? You always remember that, brother. Life keeps going. I saw today 2 dead squirrels. You guys know I go to the park every day for a walk. And I feed the squirrels free peanuts. Okay? And I guess someone ran over 2 of my squirrels. Okay? And I teared up because I started thinking about my dog and stuff. It was because I saw the one squirrel still had some breath in his lungs. And I saw him taking his last breath. Total disaster. And of course, there was still other squirrels in the park. But, you know, when you see, if you ever have to put down your dog and you see your dog take your last breath, total devastation. You know, and I saw that today with the squirrels. It's horrible to watch the life come out of a being, even though life is boring. And I went for the walk around the park, and, you know, it shook me up a little bit. And I come back, and what's happening? There's birds pecking at the dead animal's carcass. Animals are not vegans. they survive and they wait for animals to die or they kill other animals. And you say, well, God, you see a bird, you say, God's loving. Look at his creatures. His creatures kill each other. They're nasty. That's my experience of being in the outdoors. Shout out to my guy Bushcraft. I was just going to say your name. You're in the wild. These animals are wild, man. But that's how they live. So I don't know, but then I also go down the road and say, I said, look, we're never going to figure out life. So after all that I just said, I want everyone listening to know this. There is no really one answer to life. It's kind of a little bit of a mystery. Okay. I remember going in a Catholic church, and they would have a part of the mass that said that, let us proclaim the mystery of our faith. And even the priests got bored. They got blowjobs from altar boys. Even the nuns, had affairs. I know some of them. Okay. So what I want to tell you is this, Keith, $5 super chat. I work on godly hours. Been there. I come home, eat a salad, go to the gym, go to bed. I'm okay with that. I'm saving every penny. 2023 coming to Florida. Well, Keith, what I want to tell you, brother, is keep the vision in front of you. You sound like me 3 years ago. And in one sense, I was more worked up 3 years ago than I am today. You say, how could that be? You're in Florida. You're living a dream. And it's true. In many ways, I've made a lot more progress today than 3 years ago. But enjoy the journey, Keith. Because I do feel better today being in Florida than being anxious to get here. But I was so inspired with the thought of changing my life. Even living in my car in the winter in New Jersey, I was still, if you go back and you look at my videos, I was still focused and inspired because it was very exciting to have this new goal. And to come to Florida, for those who love Florida and have a vision of Florida, it is life-changing. Now, it can get boring, everything get boring, but I've had the benefit of coming to Florida and then going back up to New Jersey and up and down the East Coast several times. And what I can tell you is, other than September and October mainly, Florida is still the best state in America for those who love Florida like I love Florida. And I don't think, there was that one movie, Keith. I want you to watch it if you haven't, brother, because I think it's good for anyone thinking of moving to Florida. It's called Marley and Me, I think. I think it's Marley and Me. Let me Google it real quick because I want to make sure I give you the right one. It's a sad movie, but it has a good message that I want you to do. Is it Marley and Me? Yeah, Marley and Me, brother. So Marley and Me, it's about a guy who grew up in Florida. Okay. So he grows up in Florida, and he has a stable job. He has a stable family. He has a dog. And the dog is a big part of the movie. But his life is stable. He's not in financial ruin, but he's bored. He's bored living in Florida, living the dream. Partly because that's all he knew. And he was telling his coworkers and his boss and his family that something's wrong, I'm bored. And they said, well, go on vacation. And he goes, well, I live in Florida. This is where everyone comes to go to vacation. He goes, so what should I do? We got a new member, Andreas Hernandez. Welcome to the live chat access. God bless you, Andreas. Great to have you. Welcome and gratitude, not entitlement. Thank you very much. Love to you, Andreas. Great to connect with you. Marcel, I see you. Shout out to Europe, man. A lot of people I've been connecting with in Europe. Shout out to overseas. I appreciate you guys staying up late to watch me. So this interesting movie, Marley and Me, this guy gets bored with life living in Florida, and everyone can't understand all of this. And they tell him the answer to being bored is to go on vacation. And he says to them, well, I live in the vacation capital of the world. I live in Florida. And so he was struggling on what to do with his life. And he comes up with this idea to move to Pennsylvania to take a new job. Shout out to my member Alice from Pennsylvania. So he does. He eventually changes his job and changes location from Florida to Pennsylvania. And his dog dies in Pennsylvania. Very sad. I cried. And does he ever find joy in Pennsylvania? I don't think so. I think they kind of get depressed. How I took it was they kind of get depressed living in the snow. But I want to share with everyone tonight this journey that you're on is to try to defeat boredom without self-destructive behavior. You know, if you're going to do some risky investments, I want you to mitigate your risk through having a savings account, little to no debt, and a steady income. I want you to be careful when you hoard cash. Not that it's a bad thing, but there's a scripture that says when you hoard cash, too much can get put in risky investments and you have nothing to show. I want you to be careful when you're out there seeking thrills, because there is no destination, there is no thrill that's going to give you a fix that will stay. If you ever have any experience with any drug addict, they will all testify that they're looking for that same high that they first had when they first did drugs. And it's a chase that never ends because it's never possible. You know, Sade had a song called It's Never As Good As the First Time. And I thought about that the first time I came to Florida and I was driving down the East Coast Highway A1A, my favorite highway. And there was palm trees. And I said, oh my God, I was listening to Sade. I said, oh my God, I'm in heaven. And I went, I came back and forth a couple times, and it's still, Florida still inspires me. I'll never move out, God willing, unless there's a hurricane. But there is something to say that first time it's an amazing thing. Adam, $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate your words of wisdom. I appreciate you too. It's reciprocal. Have a good weekend, Sam. Same to you. I'm praying for your family, for your parents, and for your grace to be able to live a healthy life in that situation while being a caretaker and also exercising self-care. Self-care to all my caretakers. Love and appreciation to you, Adam. Wendy! Super sticker, a guy with a bullhorn, that's me. And a little guy with a bullhorn, that's someone. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you staying with me. You and Hal have stayed with me through some tough times, and I have gratitude towards you. Yeah, Wendy, that little guy makes me think of that squirrel today that got ran over. It's very sad. Saw that squirrel take its last breath. And, you know, look, guys, at any time life can end. That's true. You know, I think Wendy was talking about going skydiving. You know, it's like there's an adrenaline there. And is there something wrong with that? No, there's nothing wrong with that, guys. You know, it's like I think the human has to figure out some way to get excitement out of life in a healthy way. So again, whatever it is for you. You know, some people go to amusement parks, some people go on a vacation. You know, so what's the answer? You know, look, there is no answer. The answer is still self-care, time management, live where you're inspired, mitigate your risk. I want to say that again, mitigate your risk. Jessie, my first ever member, she knows she trades stocks. I trade stocks. And what I can tell you is most stocks fail. Most investments long-term fail unless you're investing in the boring index fund. Okay. And so let us not hurt ourselves by chasing this excitement. However, let us not live this boring life where we never take risks, where we never change jobs, we never change locations. It's, you know, there's no exact science to life. You often hear me reference that. However, there is science, there's data, etc. So we're trying to balance it. Jesse, who is that guy that kept buying workhorse stock? That was Challenger the welder. He came in here the other night. He said he's Filipino. He was thinking about going back to the Philippines, but I don't know. He was all over the place. He's saying he got out of workhorse and then he bought AMC and then AMC tanked and then he bought something else. So I don't know. Challenger the welder, if you're out there, man, shout out to you. I kept telling him, he says he's a millionaire now. I don't know. I don't know who to believe, guys. I hope he is, because I want to see people succeed, not get hurt. But all I know is this, because I haven't figured out a way to become a millionaire yet. If I didn't have a steady job and a side hustle and keep my debt low, I'd be bankrupt. So the only thing I know is mitigate your risk. Now, some people get lucky, and I'm not mad at lucky. I'm not mad at success. But you got to be very careful. Jesse O, I loaded up on some today. They lost a UPS contract, so they crashed. Fun play, I think. Well, it's fun. Yeah, let's see. The thing with stocks is you're never going to sell at the exactly right time. You're never going to buy at the exactly right time. However, some people make money. I haven't met consistently someone who has. But yeah, right now, Workhorse at 1345. A couple months ago, got all the way up to 50. So yeah, he's out of it now. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I don't have enough. I don't have 3 years of positive tax returns on stocks to give advice. So that's why I tell people the general principles of have an emergency fund, fully funded savings account. Keep your savings and your investment money separate. Have a steady source of income, whether it's retirement funds, whether it's work, whether it's side hustle, a separate thing other than your investments. That way you don't depend on investments to pay your rent because you'll sleep better at night. And mitigate your risk. Don't take too much risk because most risks fail. I wish you the best, Jesse. I love you. Keith, will CK, oh yeah, you will look at that movie. Thank you. It's a great movie, brother. I think you'll get a lot out of it because I think it teaches us that Florida's still the best. That's my opinion. But fell in love with Florida. It's awesome, man. It still is awesome. It's hot as fuck, though, but I like it. I like a hot guy. I like the sweat. Keith says he fell in love with Florida years ago. Had a lady friend, at Bonta Beach. Don't hate on me. I'm not hating on you, brother. Just when I went to Publix to get some more gum, it was like 80 degrees, 85 degrees, say. And, there's still chicks, walking on the beach side, with their Daisy Dukes on, with their bikini shorts. And, the ass cheeks, everything's out. It looks gorgeous. So, I saw like 3 beautiful women just going to the store. I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. Okay. But guys, I'm not that in love. Okay. I'm staying single for life. But I got a friend of mine, Keith. He keeps telling me he wants to move to Florida when he's in his 50s, like reinvent himself, like 3.0 version of his life. And I keep telling him, man, you're not ready for Florida. Because you're going to see the first hot chick. You're going to fall in love. And you're gonna end up, it's not, you gotta be careful down here, man, because there's a lot of beautiful women, man. A lot of beautiful guys, too, for my girls. But what I can tell you is, look, guys, whatever works for you, man. Some people get into a marriage or relationship, or they leave their relationship because they want excitement. Have I had a couple of housewives that want to get with me? Sure. They're bored as fuck. I don't blame them. Now, I would never do that, guys, because I don't want to get caught in a love triangle. But, I still think about them. There are some housewives I would get with. Wendy, very sad. It breaks my heart every time I witness things like that. Yeah, with the squirrel. I rescued a beautiful puppy from an intersection. Oh, that's a disaster. He almost got hit by a car. I got him, took him to anti-cruelty. Good. Adopted 5 days later. Well, that's a good story. Good job, Wendy. Good job. Pluto, brother, I am in tears as I type this. What happened, man? I just missed the old life with my parents. I can understand, man. You got to cry sometimes, man. It's all right to cry. Now it's so hard that they are gone. I understand. You got to let it out, man. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm getting adapted to this life one day at a time. You got it, brother. You're very smart, Pluto, because I know by the words that you repeat, you're listening to time management, self-care, one day at a time. None of those things are the silver bullet to life, but they're the foundation of a good, healthy life. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel sad. Just don't let yourself stay there. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel sad. One thing I learned living by the ocean is every time you go on the beach, there's a sign. There's a sign that says, what should you do if you get caught in a riptide? A riptide is like when the ocean kind of sucks you in. Okay. And basically the instructions are, when Mother Earth, when the ocean sucks you in, don't fight it because you'll drown faster. Let the current take you out. And then when the current is like at the tail end, swim to the side and come back to shore. So when you have a sad moment, let the tears out, let the thought out. but then don't go all the way out to sea. Then swim parallel and come back to sanity. Come back to self-care. Come back to time management. Come back to healthy food. See, some people let that rip current take them out, and then they go to alcohol, they go to drugs, they go to destructive behavior to numb the pain because they drown in the pain. And I understand the pain. I'm not mocking. I'm saying that I don't want to go down that road. I want to try, guys, I'm just trying to survive and get through life as healthy as possible. Everyone's got to do whatever they want. For me, I want to come back to shore, okay, until it's time to go in a good way. So I hear you, brother. Jesse O, keeping my obligations low, good job, has transformed my trading style and made life more enjoyable. Well, that's what it's about. Because you're going to, my experience with trading is you're going to have 6 positive months, then you're going to have 1 week, 1 day that'll wipe you out. Because it's almost like the algorithms know, and you got to be very careful. But that's why I tell you, look, if you want to do some trading, to give your life a little excitement, it's probably all of us very hard to beat that system. But if you live below your means, you keep a job, you pay off your debt, you have a separate savings account, worst thing that can happen is you lose whatever's in your brokerage, but you don't touch your savings, you still have a job, and you still have your health, and you manage your time so you still enjoy the day even when you fail at a trade. Jennifer Gaines, $2.99 super chat, thumbs up, super sticker. Jennifer, I appreciate that, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for that super sticker. I appreciate that. Love to you, Jennifer Gaines. Thank you. Shout out to you. Thank you, guys. Love to you. Fred, what's up, brother? Happy Friday. Fred, great to see you, man. And Wendy said, Godzilla vs. King Kong, HBO Max, March 31st. Can't wait. Okay. Yeah, I don't have HBO Max. Okay, is that a movie coming out with that? Red, Wendy, and everyone that's in Florida. Now, Fred brought it up last night about the vaccine, and a couple people shared it on a replay, a live chat last night. Starting on Monday, if you live in Florida and you're 40 years or older, now you can get the vaccine. Wandering off, one of my newest members, $3.99 super sticker, Starbucks super chat. Shout out to you, wandering off. Love to you and your family, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Love, appreciation. Showing up. Keep showing up, guys. I know life gets boring and I know life can suck, and some days we cry and some days we have fun. Some days we win, some days we lose. One thing I learned in life, I always think about when I'm in my failing algorithm is, a baseball player goes to the Hall of Fame if he's only right 30% of the time. Because if you bat 300 for your career, you're in the Hall of Fame. $20 super sticker, workhorse stock going up. Jesse O, my first ever member, truth be told. Thanks for being you. Well, damn it, Jesse O. Thank you for being my first ever member. Amazing. You've been a great support. You've always honestly shared your life. And I totally understand your desire to trade and to make side money. But I totally understand the pain when most eventually there's a loss. So like I said, if you mitigate risk and you enjoy your life and you manage your time, and even if you have a bad day, you've learned to wake up early, you've learned to do something productive, you learn to take care of your self-hygiene, and even if the portion of your day with the risk fails, at least you still lived a good life. And never forget it. Love to you, Jesse, and thank you. Damn, Charles, $2.99 super sticker, thumbs up. Charles, man. Shout out to you, brother. I appreciate your continued support, man. You keep going after your best life too, man. I see your comments, and I know you're fighting for your best life. Look, guys and girls, I know that we're all out here, right, in this world. I mean, I'm out here. I'm by the beach tonight, so it's not that bad, but I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for my health. And I'm still grateful for the nomad life. I was reflecting on that today. I said, Sam, what are you doing? What do you want to do? And I still struggle with that, guys. It's like, in one sense, as a nomad, I got this freedom. And if my mom needs me, I know I could go right back up. I know I'm not obligated. But there's some nights where I say, man, what am I doing? It's like I'm keep moving. I know I don't want to leave Florida. It's tough, But I say to myself, I said to myself, I'm still grateful for the nomad life for as long as I'm in it, that, you know, it does add some excitement, you know. Sometimes it's just the ability to be able to have these endless possibilities. And if you're healthy and if you don't have any, I don't have any kids, guys. I don't have any pets. So for me, I could take the risk. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. It's like, again, it's everyone has their own life, Some people decide to defeat boredom by getting married and having kids. Am I mad at them? No. Now, again, I mean, my channel will never mainly be around that because that's just not my life experience, So, and I've met plenty of married people. Sometimes they come in a live chat, a couple members that are married. And I don't know if they're happy with their marriage or not. I don't know if they're mad, but I know that they want some adventure in life. And I certainly, I'm sure you can find it with your spouse. I don't know. It's a tough thing when you have someone else connected to your life, man. I'm not good with that. I'm good with it for a while, but then there's something in me that it doesn't last long. That's not who I am. So I think about that now too. Now I'm a middle-aged man, right? So I have enough experience in my life to say, what am I good at and what am I not, right? So, I know I have certain things I'm good at, but I'm not really good with commitment, not long-term, I'm not good with traveling with other people. I'm not good with living with other people. I'm not bad, but it's not my best life. I could do it, but it's not my best life. So it's like, I can tell you guys, I kind of observed my father when he had got divorced, and he had some similarities, and I always thought he was his best when he was renting a small studio apartment, and he would just go out on the weekends to defeat his boredom, and he'd keep himself busy. And in my opinion, as he got older, he eventually remarried, and then he bought a house. And I don't know, man. I just think that he put too much on his plate, and I think that it just aggravated him. That's my opinion. Again, I'm not trying to figure out other people's life. I'm observing to try to figure out my own life. Jesse, I think a lot of people lie to themselves, and then it creates disasters long term. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, because there's no real answer, it's like, what is the truth, really discovering yourself and being honest with yourself is a journey that's a daily discipline, I remember when I was starting to get into health. And now, the number one thing I recommend when you get into health, one is stop eating out. Two is start to read the back of the food labels. And I was starting to read the back of the food labels to see not just how many calories, but how much sugar, how much sodium. Sodium, you should have no more than 2,300 milligrams per day. Added sugar, no more than 38 grams per day for a male. Now, again, could you have a little bit more? Of course. I just had some Starburst, but at least it gave you guidelines. And I remember I was looking in the back of the food label at the store, and this lady came by me. She wasn't that big. She was, in decent shape. And she goes, "What are you doing, looking at the back of the food label?" I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Don't look at back of that. Just, if you like it, get it." And I'm looking at her like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to stay healthy. I at least want to know what I'm eating, even if it's over my recommended amount. But to your point, Jess, it's like, some people don't want to know. It's like, I don't even want to know what's in it. Don't even tell me. So it's tough. Love to you, Wendy. Love to you, Keith. Love to you, Adam. Andreas, welcome again, man. Where you from, Andreas? Shout out to you, Thomfolk. Tony, Hal, Marcel, Pluto, I love you, man. Fred, I love you. Charles, I love you. Wandering off, love to you. Jennifer, love to you. Yeah, so, I don't know. I guess, YouTube, to me, keeping my time occupied with things that some I like to do, some I need to do, kind of just gets me through each day. Okay. Because like I said, when you have too much time on your hands, it's a bad thing, man. The worst thing you can have too much of is time. Believe it or not. Because there's only so much you can do nothing. And eventually you get bored when there's nothing to do. And that's when you overeat, you text the wrong person, you over risk something, you know. So, you got to be very careful with time. It's like, in one sense, sometimes, like I know Keith was sharing, he works these long hours. Now that's another extreme. I've been there too. I mean, and I know Pluto was sharing the other week, that he's working all these long hours, or he was trying to do, different businesses. And, like I guess everything with life is we're trying to find a level of balance. Like I always tell you, the hard part about balance is it's different for all of us. And there is not an exact science to it, And like look, if you want a balanced diet, just eat 2,000 calories per day, eat the same thing every day, and you're good. But that's boring ass life. I'm not saying you should eat 10,000 calories per day, right? Because that's a miserable, I'm not saying miserable life, but it's a bogged down life, And after it starts to negatively affect your health, and it will, it's just going to make your life unnecessarily shitty. Now, I still see my big people out there, and I have compassion because I know some people, like there's something in their DNA, they can't help it. I could tell. And there's some behavior that's learned. There's some people that just can't. Like when I talked to my mom today, she was stressed and she had a long day. And she was like, Sam, it was a long day. And she goes, I just got done eating like, I don't know, some Burger King or something. That's, I understand, Mom. I understand. Like I don't yell at my mom. I don't yell at people when they overeat, but I observe. And I've been down that road. So I got to be a little firm on myself. Hopeful in California. Shout out to her, AKA Vicky. She moved from Minnesota to California. $14.99 super chat. Vicky, thank you very much. I'm very proud of you for going after your best life in California. Like I always tell you, if Florida didn't exist, my next place of choice would be South California, Southern Cal. Shout out to my man, Big Plan Dan. And so you did well for yourself and your family because, in my opinion, living in Minnesota it's not even for the birds. It's for the Vikings, okay? It's like, living in Minnesota is for the Vikings. That's why I got the Minnesota Vikings. So, one thing that I can say in life is live where you're inspired. Now, the only thing I'll say to balance that thought is the movie I recommended today to Keith was the movie called Marley and Me, where a guy grew up in California. He grew up in Florida. He got bored with life in Florida, and everyone told him to go on vacation. He goes, where am I going to go? Everyone comes to Florida to go on vacation. And then he moved to Pennsylvania, destroyed his life. His dog died in the snow. It was a horrible ending. So I don't know. I wouldn't move to Pennsylvania. Love to you, Vicky, and thank you. Wendy, I have a streaming service. Okay. So I can watch the news in the morning and stay with current affairs while camping out. Okay. I added HBO. Well, there you go. Yeah, you got to have some entertainment, to keep you entertained. Life is boring. So, it's like everything, though. You do need some entertainment. Entertainment's valuable. I watch some of YouTube for entertainment. And then, I try to have my time so I don't overindulge, but it's true. Jesse also said, this is why I'm staying single. It's too difficult to find people who are willing to be honest no matter what. Yeah, well, I found a girl that was willing to be honest in a loving way, but I don't like that either, And I can understand too. I'm probably too honest. That's why I'm single. We were very similar. She liked someone to be direct, and I like to be direct. But the problem is, it's just like, even when two people are in love, it's like, eventually you get bored with each other, or you just get on each other's nerves. $10 super chat, Pluto. One day at a time, you nailed it. Self-care, you nailed it. Self-control, not easy. Time management, 100. You helped me so much, brother. Well, brother, the love and appreciation is reciprocal. And everything I told you is what I tell myself. So, Yes, sometimes I'm giving you guys a little entertainment, but I'm pretty much giving you the real deal. Is I try to practice what I preach. And through the good, through the bad, through the snow, through the sun, through the super chats, through the days when there's none, through the winning of money, through the losing of money, through the grind of working, through the hustle of DoorDash, through the consistency of the daily grind. It's all part of the life, we just got through another day, basically. So even if you lost $15,000 today, you got through another day, and just keep taking it one day at a time. Love to you, Pluto. Keith, I work a lot of hours, but it's all for my goal. I understand the passion of a goal. I understand it. And I have found out in life that hard work works. I agree. Appreciate you, man. No, I totally agree, Keith. I've been down that same road you are. You got a goal, you're focused, and you're willing to put in the work. And I totally agree it will pay off. Like I always tell you guys, in my experience, that without work, without me working and having an income, I would not be able to do what I've wanted to do in my life. Okay. So I've been laid off. I've been on unemployment. I've tried to invest money. I've had my own business, and all of those things have some pros, but nothing, including YouTube, nothing has given me more money, which equals independence, than a main job, period. So there may be some exceptions where some people have other ways, but for me, and that's why I always wanted to work. I want to retire early. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. That's my last goal. But even if I don't, I'm very grateful. As long as I could work remote, and pick up some on the side hustle. Look, I still have the goal. I would like to be able to retire early, but to be able to do that without a main job, it's very hard. Because you almost have to risk, and you got to be careful when you risk, because my experiences, you tend to lose more than you make over time. So the best thing you can do is have a steady source of income, some side hustles, and live where you want. Live below your means. Don't have too many long-term obligations. And, then you have to design your own life. Maybe you want a family. Maybe you want a dog. Maybe, again, all those things, guys, you have to fill in the blanks. Okay? Because for me, I'm sweating my ass off. All right, let's take a hydration break. Thank you, everyone. Guys and girls, you guys have been gracious to me tonight, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you again, Vicky. Thank you, everyone. Again, shout out to you, Andreas, new member. Charles, $14.99 super chat, dollar bill, yo, yeah, Wu-Tang close that, say Kudos on your consistency with showing up, Walt. Charles, thank you very much, man. You guys are very kind to me, and sometimes I'm amazed, that, look, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I don't want to be over dramatic. Let me just say thank you, keep my mouth shut, and let me say yes. I mean, one of the things when I want to quit, I always say to myself, if you show up, things will be better than if you don't show up. And I didn't always know that, okay? Part of that is maturity and going through life, because certainly, like anyone in life, I've been through things where I didn't show up consistently, and I suffered. So, it's just, it's what I try to accomplish. Thank you. Doran, hey Doran, your words lift me up. Well, I'm grateful. It's partly a God-given gift, so I can't take full credit. And the other part of it is I do put in the work to refine the gift. So thank you, Doran, very much for all your comments, your support, your membership, your love, your super chat. Gratitude. Thank you. Fred, working remote has worked out well for me, especially during the pandemic. Yeah, great comment, Fred. To me, everyone's different. For me, that's the number one positive thing that came out of the pandemic, was the greater ability to work remote. Because sometimes when I get a little bit of sad, because I used to have a high level of fear that, one is I'd never be able to work remote, and then two is, when you're tied to an office, you may not be able to live by the beach, because a lot of the big industries, a lot of them are not necessarily right next to the beach, right? So all I can say is that one of the blessings of technology, whether you are working for a company or whether you're an independent contractor doing Uber or DoorDash, the ability to work remote is a blessing. And as someone who has experience for most of my life, having either to go into an office or in the beginning of my career, having to go to a job site for construction, the ability to be only halfway through my life at the age of 40, halfway through my working career, and to be able to work remote, to me, it was one of my goals. I did a video because I did a video, I think it was 2 years ago when I got the job transfer, and it was my dream job, still is. And I try to remember that on my bad days. I said, Sam, this was one of your dreams. Never take that for granted. Now obviously I would love to have the goal of retiring early, but that's very hard. But even if I don't, I can't complain, because to be able to work remote and live my dream, that's a blessing. And I work for it. I still work for it. Like I say, I got a resume of being consistent, of good reviews, of putting in the work. But, there's also the grace of God, if people give you opportunities, they don't have to. You work I work with a couple of bad people, but I also work with a lot of great people. So, it's like, I think like, who said it? Keith said it. Look, I believe, the harder you work a little bit, the luckier you get. Because like I say, in my experience in life, most people, including, most people are not going to make their bulk of their money with investments or their own business. That's the odds. Because the odds are most businesses fail. And most people, if you're doing a personal investment other than the basic index fund, most investors fail. And I'm not talking about big hedge firms, even them. I'm talking about individuals. So does that mean you shouldn't take risks? No, but you should know that you got to mitigate risk. And you should know that enjoy your journey, because, money is your tool. And, I always say, like, a hammer could be used for two things. You can build a house with a hammer, or you can commit suicide with a hammer. So a tool could be used for two different things, guys. You got to be very careful. Fred, so gyms and restaurants are at full capacity now. Sam, in Florida, I heard there was a curfew for spring breakers. Yeah, well, down in Miami, they put a curfew because shit was getting crazy down there. I avoid that section because, that's young kids. I'm not in that zone anymore. I still like to, be around good vibes, but that's too crowded. That's when you're in your teens or 20s. I'm not in that age group anymore. So yeah, South Beach, they pretty much shut that down at 8 p.m. curfew because it was getting too crazy. I don't know. Well, one of Starbucks still does not allow eating in down here in Florida. So restaurants, there's a lot of outdoor eateries here, and it's a beautiful time of year here in March, April. So everyone's eating outside. There, I see some people inside, no doubt. But pretty much, yeah. Things are open, but most people still wearing masks. There's definitely still protocols in place. Vaccines are rolling out. I see every time I'm in Publix, I see someone getting a vaccine. And more than likely, because starting on Monday, March, whatever it is, March 28th or whatever, anyone 40 years old or older can get the vaccine. So I'm 40. So now, starting on Monday, I'll be eligible. So I'll probably sign up. And then look, yeah, if everything stays stable, we're probably looking at midsummer, fall. Kids go back to school, life goes back to somewhat normalcy. And that's healthy. So, I'm grateful. Look, I've been able to, this time last year, guys, I was traveling up the East Coast, back to Jersey. I was doing videos on the I-95 of the National Guard coming to Florida, of the stores shutting down, of no one on the highways. So a year changes a lot, and I've been fortunate. Now I did get real sick when I went up there. I don't know if that was because of the change of weather or if I had COVID. For those who watch my channel, I was uploading a video every day, including during the pandemic. And when I left Florida at the end of March and went to New Jersey, when I got to New Jersey, I was very sick for about 2-3 weeks. So whether I had COVID or whether it was change of weather, I don't know because I never got the antibody test. So, and I don't know, I was talking to someone today, they were saying that the flu and stuff, I mean, the shot may only be good for like 6 months. I don't know. Marcel, $5 Eurozone super chat. Shout out to the UK. He goes, I definitely agree that grief is a part of life, no doubt. And that one should not lose themselves in it. It's not easy, but you are exactly right. It is important to detach. You have to. For that, you need self-care. 100 emoji. Good job, Marcel. You and Pluto get it. Look, it's like Mr. Miyagi from the original Karate Kid movie. You know, this kid was getting beat up. And I think it was from New Jersey. The original Karate Kid, wasn't that Italian kid? Wasn't he from New Jersey? Either way, this guy, I think he moved from New Jersey to California. This the original Karate Kid that came out in the 80s, the movie. So he goes to California, he's getting beat up by these guys. So he wants to learn self-defense. So he goes to like this teacher, Mr. Miyagi. Now he's like a maintenance guy at this point, but he's also, I think he's from Japan. He knows like some karate. So he starts teaching Daniel-san. He starts teaching Daniel about karate, but not in a regular way. Like he teaches him by having him work on his house, like painting the fence, okay, and waxing the car. And after a couple of weeks, Daniel-san gets bored with life. He said, hold on, Mr. Miyagi, you told me you were going to teach me karate, but all you're teaching me is how to paint a fence, how to wax a car. He goes, I'm done with this. And Mr. Miyagi goes, Daniel-san, show me paint the fence. He goes, what? He goes, show me paint the fence. And he goes like this. He goes like this. And then Mr. Miyagi grabbed it. And then like, so like as he was telling him, you know, paint the fence, he was showing him like the fence. And then he goes, now show me wax on. And then, you know, he's teaching them without teaching them. Okay. And this is what self-care is, guys. When I tell you wake up on time, don't take naps. When I tell you eat a healthy breakfast, go to the gym, do something productive, main job, side job, whatever. When I tell you stay away from alcohol, drugs, mitigate your risk when it comes to gambling or investments. This is not to make your life boring. This is to save you from the dark days of this world. This is so that when you're faced with a bully in the alley, you know how to survive. This is Karate Kid 2021. Oh, shit. We got a new member, Jen Gaines. Jen, welcome to the live chat access. Damn, Jen, I appreciate that love and appreciation, Jen. Welcome very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, man, it's gratitude. It's gratitude. Thank you, Jen. Welcome. Where are you from, Jen, if you want to share? Pluto. I have to keep reminding myself that life is tragedy. Yeah, Rihanna had a song about that. What's love without tragedy? But does not need to be hell. Yeah, no, I believe we can make life better. I do believe that. I agree, Marcel. Yeah, 100. Look, guys, especially if you're healthy, especially if you live in a developed country, even though things still have challenges, even when you're healthy, even when you live in a first world country, it's something to be grateful for. It's true. And I'm grateful for that. You know, that'll keep you out of depression too, being thankful. It's true. Marcel, I do breathing exercises every day now. Well, I dated a psychopath that did that, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too excited about that, but that's good that you're doing the breathing. Now, get to bed early than before. Okay. It helps me deal with, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right, nihilistic thoughts. My hustles, etc., are secondary to that. Let me Google that word. I don't know what that word means. I don't want to act like I know what it means. See, that's what happened when I was dating this girl. Yep, she was doing breathing exercises, and then she was starting to say shit. I was like, what'd you say? I was trying to figure out what you're talking about. You know the type of girl takes screenshots of a text from 5 months ago? Nah, I'm good. He goes, nihilism, this is the definition of nihilism, if I'm saying that right, is the rejection of all religions, moral principles, and belief that life is meaningless. Well, even the Bible in the book of Ecclesiastes says that life is meaningless. It says, don't be too good, why destroy your life? But don't be too bad, why die before your time? So even the Bible acknowledged that. I still do believe in faith, though. There's parts of the Bible that really help me, parts I don't believe. I definitely believe with the overall philosophy and how Jesus lived. But when I saw that dead squirrel today, or when I see a hardship in life, I say, God, and then I see the squirrel get hit by a car. I see the squirrel take his last breath. Then I see the other God's creature, the fucking crow, come down, peck the shit out of the dead squirrel. I say, God, what? I'm thinking to myself, like, man, if it was me, like, everything would be nice. But just like in the Bible, I know I shouldn't question it. I can't understand it. I don't know, but I know when I was speaking to my mom today and she was stressed out and she was almost in tears. My mom has faith, genuine faith. And, maybe I kind of, I've always felt it in my soul, though, even when I was young, I always felt some type of connection to God, even though sometimes I curse God. I don't lie to you guys. So I can't say that I don't believe in God. I can say that as I get older, I get a little bit more bitter. But when push comes to shove, I still have my faith. Now, could I get crushed and lose all my faith? I'm human. It could possible. But I at least try to remember to be thankful, and I still do pray and stuff, Love to you, Marcel. Thank you for sharing that. Charles, you know how to Miyagi the haters. Yeah, well, I try. I feel bad sometimes because I had some good people that, they were haters, but they were also lovers. A hater is nothing more than someone who loves you with obsession. You think about it, when you really don't like something, you don't spend no time on it. A hater is someone who's obsessed with you. It's like, I hate that bitch. She did me dirty. I hate that motherfucker. He destroyed my life. So, it's like, what was that movie with, Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing? When Radio Raheem, he had the two, rings. One said love, one said hate. So, but I can't go backwards. I don't know. I thought about that today. I would love to still have a relationship with my father, with some friends, with some people on YouTube. But I don't know how you go back to certain things. I just, I don't know it. To me, I just don't see that path. So I just try to keep pushing forward and hope that, it all works itself out. Love to you, man. Fred. Ralph Macchio. Oh, yeah, that was the actor in Karate Kid. Came back to reprise his role as Daniel. Now, time is like a river. You can never touch the same spot twice, man. Like they're doing a Coming to America Part 2. I heard it was boring, man. That's what I heard. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if it's true. He goes, Ralph Macchio came back as his role as Daniel in the Cobra Kaya. I didn't see that. I knew a girl named Kaya. Loved that movie. Yeah, 80s were classic movies. They don't make good movies anymore. That's true. Fred, laughing. Your Miyagi impression was spot on. Well, I tried my best. I dated a couple Asian girls. That was fun. So, what I can tell you is this, guys. I don't know, man. I'm a Mr. Miyagi, guys. Now, Mr. Miyagi, as wise as he was also a drunk. Remember, Mr. Miyagi was getting drunk off sake. And remember, his wife died. That's like me. Now, I don't drink anymore. I drink free Starbucks water. I don't drink alcohol. But in one sense, at the end of every night, I'm drinking Starbucks water and I'm crying myself. Well, I'm not crying to sleep, but in one sense, sometimes I'm crying myself to sleep. And some nights I do cry. That, you just think about life. Like Mr. Miyagi gets like most of us in life. You've experienced loss, the death of a loved one, whether a lover, a parent, a pet, and the failed relationships. And even though you're strong and smart and you're teaching Daniel's son, you're still Mr. Miyagi. You're still crying in your sake. And you remember Mr. Miyagi was like face down, drunk, when Daniel's son found him. And he had a picture of his dead wife. This is life, guys. But just like Daniel's son, there's a new generation, and there's a new energy. Everyone has to experience this thing for themselves, So look, the average life expectancy is 80 years old. Okay. And if you're 80, you can't think of that and be depressed. If you're 40, you can't think of that and be depressed. If you're 20, you can't think of that and be depressed. What you have to do is make the most of your life. Every part of life has its own season. Life itself gets boring. Like you got bored in high school. You couldn't wait to leave high school. Then you got bored in college. You couldn't wait to leave college. Then you got bored being an adult. You couldn't wait to be retired. Then you got bored being retired. You wanted to be dead or go back to being a child. This is the cycle of life, guys. All I can tell you is, just do the best you can. Marcel, I have had similar experience despite my skepticism of Christianity and the church. I believe in God and prayed every night until I was 18. Well, I understand. And I also acknowledge for my other religions out there, I mean, my parents are Italian, so they came from Italy, Roman Catholic Church. Europe is mainly Christian. But I know around the world, there's different religions, Hinduism, Jewish, Islam, Buddhist, you name it, atheist. So, as we're a global world now and there's more exposure to other ways of life, look, everyone has to figure out their faith for themselves. Because it's a personal thing. And even, Mother Teresa died faithless and bitter because she spent a lot of time helping people. So, in some parts she didn't help them that good. She should have been better off just putting them like in a medical facility. But that was like almost 80 years ago, 60 years ago. Again, the Bible and the Quran and the Torah and all these ancient writings, these are from an ancient civilization before the internet, before modern medicine. So when you read the Bible or any religious text, you have to understand that life expectancy was low, life was archaic, and you can't take everything literally and place it in today's society because there is difference. There's modern medicine. There is shared information. Back then, people didn't have books, okay? There's so much more different. And so every day we're kind of writing this new life. And just like in the Bible or any other religious text, there was questions about what is life really about. Whether it was Buddha or whoever, everyone was seeking enlightenment. And everyone kind of figured out, well, this is what I think it means, this is what I think it means. And it all kind of mesh, and there's some parts that interconnect, and some things have their own, like, individual twist. But, look, guys, all I can tell you is, we all got to try to figure it out. Dan Diamond, what's up, man? Shout out to the Palm Coast, brother. He goes, you lived in India for 3 months? Well, that's a good experience. I never went to India. I had a guy I worked with. He went to India for something with the job. And he goes, Sam, the interesting thing about India, because, again, India and China have the world's biggest population. India has, I believe, like 1.7 billion people population, and China has about 1.5, 1.7 billion. America only has 350 million. So the two biggest countries with regards to population are India and China. However, much of both of those countries are undeveloped. And most of the people in those countries still come to America or another first world country to get education or resources many times. So he said when he went to India, one thing he saw, he goes, look, there's a lot of poverty in India. He goes, there'd be some kids walking around with no shoes on, barefoot on the dirt, but they had a smartphone. And I think they should. Smartphone is your greatest resource no matter where you live. It's your never feel bad about spending a lot of money on a smartphone. It's your greatest resource. It's not just entertainment, it's information, it's job transfers, it's working, it's whatever you want it to be. It's communications with your parents, it's medical information, it's stored documents. Your smartphone, I know it has negatives. Everything has negatives, guys, but the smartphone will go down as one of the greatest human inventions. And again, I know there's negatives of it, just like there was negatives of the Bible, just like there was negatives of advancing mental health. 100 years ago, sometimes they would drill a hole in someone's skull because they believe if you drill a hole in someone's skull, like you let out either demons or you let their brain kind of like stimulate. It's crazy. You think a cold shower is crazy? Try drilling. It's crazy. Coffee Black, $5 super chat. All caps. Keep up the good work. Thank you. You inspire me. And then the cowboy face emoji. Thank you, Coffee Black. Love to you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being with me. I know you've been watching for a while, so thank you, Coffee Black. Very much appreciated. Keep your sense of humor. Keep putting one day in front of the other. Like I said, guys and girls, you made a bad day today. You made a bad week. All we can do is one day at a time. Get through the day. Love to you and thank you. Thank you to everyone out there. Thank you. Back to live comments. Marcel. Marcel says, now I see evidence of reincarnation and some sort of creation of consciousness. I question everything. Sometimes I think it's all just nonsense. Yeah, I mean, there's one scripture that comes to mind is too much readings of books leads to, will wear out your mind, basically is what it says. And when I was in my mid-20s, I went on this journey to get as much information about as much things as I could, and it was good. It helped me develop myself as a person in my career and in philosophy. But you get to a certain point of the journey where you say, don't mind fuck life, okay? Because you can mind fuck life until the cows come home. And whether or not you come back as a cow, you will never know. Never. So all you can do is try to live the best you can. And yeah, you just got to go forward. Love to you, man. Charles, in the Bible, it says God will shaken the things out of us that need to be shaken. That is, created of things of man, made belief systems so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Yes, like, like the separate the shaft or whatever, separate the shit from the soil or whatever. Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, look, the refining of gold, all that mindset of, yeah, you go through these things and it kind of separates the good from the bad. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes I question, well, why are we doing this though? Is it all a test? Like what type of God or what type of person or parent would want to put their children through all this? And the answer is we don't know. Now, the answer also I say to myself though, is I got to be thankful for what I have. And I can't control everything. So, yeah, there's some answers that we just don't know. I appreciate your comment, Charles. Thank you, man. Marcel. Many people have claimed they passed over to the other side. Yeah. And experienced this light and love. I don't know how to make it. Yeah, I watched a documentary on that. A physician said that when you pass out, what happens is your eyesight basically goes to this white light. Like your eyes rolling back of your head, you lose consciousness. Like you ever get hit in the head and you see like those stars? Like you get up real quick and you see stars. So part of your vision and your eyes and the nerve windings to your brain, what all your eyes are the keypad of your Microsoft processor. So when you touch your keypad, all that does is close a circuit to the microchip. So your eyes have nerve windings that report back to your brain, okay? And then that information is processed. So when you lose consciousness, okay, and your eyes roll back into your head or whatever happens, that white light is the connection, the wire. I was an electrician. The wire gets a short, okay? And there's a spark and then there's nothing, okay? So your circuit breaker trips. Now, did they really see a white light? Maybe they did. I've never been to the afterlife, guys. Okay? I've been to an all-night gas station. Let me tell you something. I've almost seen the other side, and I wasn't happy with what I saw, okay? So, I don't know, man. I really don't. That's the answer. I can say a lot of fancy stuff, guys. The bottom line answer is I got no idea. I hope it's something good. I hope heaven, if there is a heaven, I hope it's like Florida without hurricane season. I hope it's like early retirement and, like a great, beautiful person that never looks ugly, never gets on your nerves. Does that exist? Not in this world. Shit. Thank you again, Coffee Black. Keith, when, I don't know if I'm going to say this. Oh, when Danielson won the last fight, Mr. Miyagi had the biggest smile. Oh, yeah. That's my look when a coworker asks if I want to go to the strip club. Well, when I worked construction, there was times we went to the strip club during lunch, or at least a go-go. Yeah, I think we did. I think I did that a couple times. But I would not do that again. When you're young, that's time to experience that. But in my opinion, I would not go out to lunch. I would not have a beer at lunch. I would not go to a strip club. For me, I'm going to work, or when I was in an office, or when I was in wherever job site, I go to work. As I got older, I want to get my money. I want to get the fuck out of there. Okay, and I don't want to party. And when I was in an office, even when they weren't going for alcohol, I stopped eating the free Dunkin' Donut bagels and munchkins. I was very grateful they brought them in. But when I was trying to get my health together, I wasn't trying to eat no damn Dunkin' Donuts. So it's good for a season, but if you're going to get to Florida, Keith, you can't go to a strip club at lunch. You got to get focused. Because if you don't believe me, Keith, I'm trying to help you. Ask my man, Dan Diamond. He's in here. Dan Diamond, you still in here? Dan Diamond is from the Palm Coast of Florida, Northeast. Last year, Dan Diamond fell in love with a stripper from Tampa. Damn near destroyed his life. Dan Diamond is just recovering. So, when I tell you mitigate your risk, it's not just if you're day trading stocks. Mitigate your risk means that as you get older, you can't afford the risk of getting caught up in the strip club scene. I knew a guy still was going to a strip club in his late 20s, and that's how he destroyed his life. You know, got shot, or got entangled with those love triangles. You say, well, if I can't go to a strip club, life is boring. Well, I understand that. But what I can tell you is if you got goals, you got to be willing to discipline yourself. Because you can, Keith, you're a hard worker. It sounds like you're putting a lot of work in. All your work can go out the window for one reckless thing at the strip club that even you have nothing to do with. You know, like I tell Jesse O, like I've experienced, if you're not careful to mitigate your risk investing, all your hard work of saving your money and getting out of debt could all go out the window in one bad trade. The mitigation of risk is needed in order to sustain life. Now, you have to take some risk. Okay. So I don't want to tell you guys to live this okie dokie life. Because certainly without risk, there's no life. But you got to be careful. Love to you, Keith. Get down to Florida, brother, safely. Wendy, separate the weak from the shaft. Or something like that. So yeah, that shit from the soil. Yeah, you know what I mean. I was trying to figure out the quote, but I was trying to paraphrase it. Good job, Wendy. Pluto. Like Sam said, we may never know the absolute truth to life. That's true. I am learning how to play the game of capitalism, but also learning that not every thought in my head is a friend. Oh no, I agree with that. You got to discipline your thoughts. One day at a time, 100 emoji. And look, capitalism is better than any other system I've seen in the world. However, we're not just a capitalist society. We also have socialism. Social Security is socialism. Medicare is socialism. It's government-run programs that are not for profit, and I agree with them. So I also agree with capitalism, where you make a good or service and you sell it for profit. And there's got to be a balance somewhere in between. That's what makes a developed country a developed country. Good job. K, $5 super chat. Hey, Sam, just donated my PlayStation away. Didn't want to sell it and waste time thinking back and forth. Want to live life. Well, I understand that. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the super chat. When I sold my house, I tried to give stuff away. The Salvation Army said they would take 2 months to get there because they were backed up. One or two people came to pick some stuff up. The other ones were dragging their feet. I just threw it out. So now, should you throw out your PlayStation? Well, it depends on your age and what you want in life. I love video games. I loved them when I was young. They helped me. I loved them when I was in my 20s, even very early 30s. But once I hit my mid 30s, my mindset towards life started to change. I wanted to be outdoors more, less online. Well, no, less online. I would say less video games. I didn't have the desire anymore. So video games can be a blessing, but as you get older, there's a certain evolution. So the good part about your comment, Kay, is that you want to move forward. You want to grow. And you're willing to leave your old life behind, even if you end up buying a new PlayStation down the road. Now, you know, what I found in life is sometimes we go back and forth. We throw everything out and we buy something. But the second time around, you may realize that, you know what, I really don't want this. Like, remember the Seinfeld episode where it taught us that the first breakup never lasts. Like, you break up with someone because they're boring or they're unhealthy or they're destructive. And then you break up with them and then you get bored being by yourself. And then you go back with them. But then when you go back with them, the same destructive behavior or unhealthy behavior happens. And you say, why am I back here? I really don't want to be here. And that second breakup is what sticks because you realize that it's going to stay the same until you change. So sometimes in life, we have to permanently change our life. We have to send the email that gives our 2 weeks notice after we've secured another job. But you have to be, I remember I secured another job at one point, but I still hesitated to send the email. But when I finally built up enough courage to send the email of my 2-week resignation, I remember I put a couple people on it that were above my manager, so there was no way I could take back my resignation. And it was scary, but it was also one of the best decisions I made. So sometimes we gotta go to the point of no return. It's true. Back to live comments. Thank you, Kay. Marcel, I think you just made me go atheist, Sam. Well, that's your decision. Again, I would not classify myself as an atheist. I would say I still believe in God, a higher power. I still believe in Jesus. I still respect all religions because everyone is brought up in their own way. There's times I curse God and I question him just like an atheist. But I just can't totally turn my back on faith at this point because, again, without faith, I wouldn't been able to be where I'm at. And when things really get bad, I still pray. I still pray every morning. Now, my prayers are different now, and I'm a little bit more bitter. But I certainly don't. I don't want to convert you, and I don't want to convert you to faith, and I don't want to tell you can't be an atheist. I want everyone to have the personal freedom to do whatever they want in their own life as long as what they're doing is not hurting someone. Love to you, man. Wendy. Oh my God. I'm driving. Voice text is going nuts. So that's okay. Drive safe. I meant separate the wheat from the chaff. Yeah, that was what I was trying to say. Is the scripture duty. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. Thank you, Wendy. Charles, drive safe, Wendy. Good comment, Pluto. Yeah, Pluto's nailing it. I feel the same way. Thank you, Charles. Thumbs up emoji. Marcel, at Pluto. I second that. Yeah, Pluto's a smart guy. You need to keep perspective and identify that they're just thoughts and they don't define you. That's true. Keep moving forward. Well, that's 100. I love that saying. You got to keep moving forward, guys. Got to. Charles, for sure, Marcel. I agree. Thank you again, Kay. Keith, I hear you, Sam. I have not been in a strip club in 7 years. Good for you, brother. Because they are dangerous. You get it. I realized I work hard to get it. Yeah. And the bottom line is even beyond the money, which now you totally understand. I hear you. You're focused. I love that. I love it. Beyond the money, even if you have money to do some things sometimes, it's the environment and it's the regression of your progress. That you don't want to give up. Like you don't want to give up your focus. Like I tell you, Size, I don't drink, I don't smoke. And again, I was never addicted. I was addicted to cigarettes. But one thing I learned when I would have an occasional drink, I could do it without being an alcoholic. But one thing I kind of felt, I would lose an edge. Okay. And I remember hearing people say, well, have a drink, take the edge off. Right. And I don't know. There's still plenty of successful people that have a drink once in a while. So I can't say this is absolute truth. But For me, I have a certain edge because, like, I feel all my thoughts. I have to harness all my energy and either put it in the gym, put it in doing something productive, and I don't sedate it through naps or oversleeping or overeating. I'm still human, so there's days I don't do 100% well, but I go back to the self-care principles that have helped at least sustain me. And I look at people who don't have those principles, and it tends to be harder. But again, everyone has their own way to live life. I can't say that my way is every way. Like I know there's that scripture, like, this is the only way. Hey guys, look, you guys got to figure out the way for you. I don't know. Like I said, we're all trying to figure it out. Love to hear your focus, Keith. You're going to make it to Florida. What part of Florida do you want to go to, Keith? Marcel? The process of becoming your fully integrated self takes years. Oh, definitely. I learned German from scratch. Well, I give credit to anyone who can speak a couple languages. Good for you. It took, oh yeah, that's right. You were a translationist. It took me a decade to master that language. I give you a lot of credit. Roberto, good evening to you, man. Roberto, man. You're always on the low, man. You come in here once in a while. You say something positive. Roberto, thank you, man, for everything. You're a good man, Roberto. I hope you get something out of these videos, man. I know you pop in once in a while. Love to you, Roberto, and thank you, brother, for your membership and for your love. And happy Friday to you. All right, guys and girls. I'm exhausted. I got to go take a shower and then get some sleep. Thank you, everyone. Tonight, you guys and girls have been very gracious to me. Thank you to all my new members. Thank you to all my existing members. Thank you to all super chats. And have a good night, guys. All right? Thank you. Love to you.